Hey beauties, welcome to my channel. I'm Keisha Monique. If this is your first time, thank you for hitting that thumbnail. If you are coming back, thank you for returning. I appreciate the love and support. So of course, by the thumbnail, you know what this video is about. We're going to be talking about femininity for Black women. Now I wanted to make this video, number one, for the obvious, I'm a Black woman. So of course, this speaks to my experience, and I'm truly passionate about the plight of Black women and our femininity. I also wanted to do this because I'm a mother. I'm a mother of two daughters who are coming up in this world today. Just this movement right now that we have about femininity. There's tons of content out there by people who don't look like us, and there is very little of people that do look like us. So I just feel like there just needs to be more representation. We need to be able to see ourselves in other people out there and have those voices resonate with us, and just stay on top of it and just make this not be a trend. We have 5 beauty pageant queens right now. The original Egyptian queens, Queen Nefertiti and Queen Hatshepsut. So we have this deep, rich history of feminine energy radiating through us. So we just need more representation. We need to be reminded, and we need to really push this forward in our society to elevate us and to change the status quo and change the perception of who we are. So if you're really interested in this topic and want to dig a little deeper, please stick around. And if you have not subscribed yet, please hit that bell down below. Subscribe and hit the bell so that you're notified of all my uploads. And then also like and comment. Introduce yourself. I want to know who you guys are. I want to keep the conversation going. And let's get into the video. So like I said, I don't want this to be a trend. There have been so many times in history where there has been a Black plight, not necessarily for Black women, but there has been, you know, these comings and goings of celebrating Black culture, but it was just trendy, and it was something that non-Black people capitalized and made a lot of money off of. And then when it wasn't slightly as profitable as it was previously, it was completely abandoned. And we have to do our part to make sure that that doesn't happen again. We saw it with Black exploitation in the 60s and 70s. We saw it with the plight of Black film in the 90s. And it's different this time because it's not just the Black diaspora, it's Black women. Like, we have to push this forward. We have to build these communities to make sure that we change the status quo and quite frankly, the stereotype of what it is to be a Black woman and what our experience is. And no one is going to be able to do that for us. And to be quite frank, no one is going to do that for us but us. We have to do that for ourselves. So I want to start by kind of just going back. There are historical problems that have caused Black women to be masculine. And it's not a role that we chose. It's more of a role that we were forced into. With slavery, welfare reform, prison, gang culture, broken families, single mothers, abandonment, all of these things contributed to women having to take on this masculine role because we didn't have fathers in the home. We still struggle with this today on how to build strong families, strong united families. Being a single mother, you have to take on that role as mom and dad, and then it makes you have to take on that role of being masculine. And then also just trying to educate ourselves and elevate ourselves in society, because we didn't have that support, that masculine support to help elevate our status in society. So we had to do it and seek out that elevation on our own by getting educated and going into these male dominated fields and arenas and having to, go to this masculine energy in order to survive in those spaces. One of the things that contributed was also the feminist movement. It was a great movement just to bring equality between men and women. But during those days, there were a lot of Black women that supported the feminist movement, but it really did not benefit them. That whole movement didn't serve them as much as it served our white counterparts. We have very, specific issues that were not addressed in that movement. Intersectionality is real, and being Black and a woman has its whole other set of issues that weren't addressed by feminism. So it really is like we have to create this whole other segue of feminism for Black women in order for us to see progress, which is what we're seeing now. Another problem that has perpetuated the strong Black woman is the media portrayal of Black women. You constantly, back in the day, you used to see Black women playing the mammy roles. They weren't seen as attractive or beautiful. To be quite frank, like not even a whole human. They really, it's hard to say they were seen masculine because they weren't really seen that, but they weren't seen as feminine either. They were just a body that was there to, do whatever it is that others wanted done. So that contributed to it. And then also in the more contemporary roles, and we're starting to see changes in that too. And I feel that we still have a lot of growth in this area and a lot of opportunity to grow in this area is the portrayal of the characters that are in film and TV. You tend to see Black women playing these strong roles as doctors, lawyers, judges, police officers. They're very masculine fields. You don't see women getting to be vulnerable in these roles. We need more roles like that for women to show their vulnerability and to be able to embrace their feminine side. So I did do a whole video on how to activate or increase your feminine energy because we have it all in there. I don't like to say like find your feminine energy or anything like that. Like it's not there. It's there in us. We were born with it. It's just we have to tap into it. It's something that's just been dormant. Like just myself, for example, as a single mom, I had to raise my daughters on my own. I had to work jobs, sometimes more than one job. I went to school, got my education, and all of these things between, getting my education, working, being a mom, I didn't have time to think about being feminine. I mean, that was just something that was lost. And that is something that has happened to so many women. And we've got to recapture that. We've got to bring that back home because we are women. I mean, it is stressful to take on all of that. Taking on the role of two people. It is stressful to work and have to work more than one job and go to school and take care of the kids, cook dinner, clean the house. All of that is so stressful. And femininity is not stressful. That is just not part of our inherent energies, is that it's not stressful. The unfortunate thing is that we've had to deal with so much that we have taken on this very stressful trait and it's killing us. And that's the thing that is so scary for me because I see family members, parents, and I don't want to get I've seen loved ones get sick and that just breaks my heart. And it's because of not having the space to be feminine. If you look at the stats, the most deadliest diseases are plaguing Black women right now, which are heart disease, stroke, breast cancer, cervical cancer, diabetes. These are the top killers and they are plaguing Black women. I mean, by a huge number. And then I was just reading this story recently about the woman that went to the hospital, the Black woman, and they had her waiting so long to be seen that she ended up having to leave. I mean, she was waiting in the emergency room for hours with shortness of breath and chest pains, I believe, which are things when you complain about in an ER, they're supposed to address like ASAP, right away. There's no reason why you should be sitting in a waiting room with those type of implications. And unfortunately, this is happening a lot with Black women in childbirth. We are being seen as complaining and pushy and not having our ailments addressed. And that's something that has to change, because Black women are dying because they're not getting the health care that they deserve. They're not getting that level of service. I even know with myself, I've been to doctors and have complained about things, and they tell me to take a vitamin or and I've seen family members go through things that a doctor should have paid more attention to, things that are life-threatening, and it was just completely disregarded. And unfortunately, just going back to that fact, because Black women are not allowed the space to tap into that divine feminine and just be a woman, it is killing us. I mean, studies show that women with partners live longer. Studies have shown that. So it says something about growing older as a single woman. So us knowing that, we have to make it our responsibility to tap into our feminine energy and completely embrace it. We have to be willing to accept help from others, which I know is hard. And I've been that person to where I've been so independent and so used to, like, not even intentionally doing that, but I was doing everything on my own for so long that if anyone asks you for any help, it's like, no, I got it. Just the simplest things. Like, I'm at the grocery store and, a man offers to hold the door, or, he doesn't even say anything, but he makes the gesture. And I'm like, no, I got it. It's almost like second nature to do that. And I started noticing, like several years back, noticing myself do that. Like, why didn't I just let him, open the door? That's so strange. Or when I date, instead of, sitting there waiting, I see a guy walking around the car to open the door for me. No, I hurry up and jump out. And it's like, why am I doing that? Like, I should be sitting here and letting him open the door. So we have to pay attention to those things and be able to accept that masculine duty when they do that, because that's what they do. That's what they're supposed to do. I feel like in this day and age, we have a lot of men who aren't doing that. But we should accept no less than that level of chivalry from a man. And then also just building on top of the health issues is we have to take care of our health. We have to make that a top priority. When you're eating healthy, it shows. Your skin will glow. You will look healthy. You will lose weight. All of these things will come into play. So it is so imperative that we take care of ourselves and put our health first. And then I also just wanted to touch on one thing. When I created this YouTube channel, one of my things was, yes, I love beauty and girly things and feminine things. I love hair and makeup and all that stuff. But the biggest thing that drove me is because I know that I have a voice, and I know that I am passionate about this. Just growing up and not having anything and not feeling beautiful, just to see the tide turning. And I'm just really passionate about this not being a trend. And then just going to the state of Black women, just knowing that there are over 75,000 Black women missing currently. And that's what we know of. That's just what's reported. So that number is, I'm sure, a whole lot more. This is an epidemic. It is a huge epidemic. And the fact that our country is not talking about this more, it drives me insane. It makes me livid, and it is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking that more people in this world do not care about Black women to make this a bigger issue. Although I appreciate the people who are talking about it, but it definitely should be talked about more. And something should be done about it. Like, what is going on in the world that so many Black women are missing? I mean, there's something going on here, and it's something that should be addressed. And then that just goes to show that we have to come together as Black women, and even just as women of color. We just need to come together and build our own communities. We have to build a sisterhood to deal with these things ourselves. As we've seen and as history has shown us, no one is going to fight as hard for us as we will fight for ourselves. We are nurturers by nature, and we can't let outside forces pit us against each other, because there has been this historical thing of Black women being pitted against each other. We've seen it in the past where, especially with the standard of beauty being white, whenever there was a Black woman, there could only be one. I mean, we heard Tyra and Naomi Campbell talk about it. These two amazingly beautiful Black women who couldn't thrive in the same space, who were absolutely pitted against each other and made to feel threatened by each other's beauty. And that's how it was for a long time. You would only see one Black supermodel, only one. So we can't succumb to that anymore. We can't let those things make us bitter, and we can't let those things pit us against each other. And we also can't let our differences pit us against each other. I know that there are a lot of things that are very controversial right now, and we don't agree with everything that each other is doing. You know the saying, together we conquer, divided we fall. So we have to think that way in this moment. In order to progress things in our favor the way that it needs to go, we have to come together. And then another interesting fact, which I am very proud of, like, go girl. Black women are the most educated group. The Black women are the most educated group. That is something to be absolutely proud of, because we weren't set up in this society to make that type of progress. We had to work hard for that. I know myself, I had to work hard for that. A lot of us, we don't have families that went to college that can support that. We had to learn this stuff on our own. Just navigating the educational space is a challenge on its own. And when you have no blueprint or no one to support you, or someone with that experience, you are the first one, and you have to learn it on your own. So that is something to be proud of. And then many of us came from broken homes. I had a child, so I had to work, go to school, and be a mom, and it was nothing easy. So hats off to us that this is a thing. Now, the only thing I was watching, I can't remember what I was watching, but it was talking about Black women being powerful and successful, but single. And that is a huge problem. We've spent so much time just trying to leverage up in the world and attain success and be educated. And then you get to the point where you're so educated that your education and experience far exceeds your counterpart, which is a lot of Black men. Not all Black men. I know that there are lots and tons of educated Black men, but just by that statement, and it is fact that Black women are the largest educated group. So that means that there is no other group besides, I think, white men. But there's no other group that is as educated as us. So just in that statement lets you know that our group, Black women, is a larger educated group than Black men. And it creates an imbalance. And I think one of the biggest thing is being a boss. Being a boss when you're at work puts you in a whole different headspace. When you have to manage people and be a leader and be a visionary, it puts you in a completely different headspace. And a lot of times those things can translate to home. And I think that the energy that got you to that space of success is being mistaken as masculine. You have to realize that, yes, you attained all this success, but it actually was not masculine energy that took you there. It was actually feminine energy. The warrior spirit is what governs change. When you come from nothing and you want something different for your life and for your, future children or your current children, making that change from what you were used to is very feminine. So we have to embrace that. I mean, masculinity did give you those tools. It gave you those tools to be able to, operate in those spaces, because going into a male dominated fields is tough when you're a woman, because they don't operate the same way that we do. We all have, feminine and masculine energy in us, men too, but it's a different balance. So going into those spaces, it's different, and you have to, turn it on and, tap into that. But it's not the masculine energy that got you into that space. It is feminine energy. So use that. It's in you. Use it to your advantage to bring you that love that you're looking for. Another way as a Black woman that you can really turn on that feminine energy and, just set your life on the right path is use law of attraction. Law of attraction works. I mean, and there's different modalities and different things that you can do just to attract abundance into your life and to attract whatever it is, whether it's a career, it's love, family, success, whatever it is that you want, you can attract it to yourself, whether it's scripting or quantum jumping, meditation, all of that. Use those to your advantage. Our life and everything that we have going on is a manifestation of our thoughts. Everything where you are right now starts from what you thought in your head. If you have limited thinking, then you're going to have a limited life. If you are a big thinker and are very expansive, then your life will reflect that as well. I also just want to say, because this was something that I had a problem with for a very long time, about activating my feminine energy and just increasing it. Using time as a crutch and procrastinating. Stop procrastinating. Act now. That's like my big thing. Act now. Stop putting it off. I know when I was doing stuff like, really busy with work and being a mom and being in school, I would constantly, I have so much going on, which I did, that I would put off all of those things that I needed to do to tap into my feminine energy. And that is the worst that you can do to yourself, because, it starts with a month and then it turns into years, and then it turns into 5 years. And once you lose it, it's even harder to get back. So don't wait. Do it now. Don't put it off to tomorrow. I'll do it next week. No, do it now. And then the biggest thing, just with being feminine, is love. Keep love around you. Keep love in your spirit. Give love. Be nurturing. Cultivate it. Accept love. If there is anything around you that is not loving, don't be afraid to let that go. Sometimes we have to shed dead weight, and not everyone may be on the same path as you on this building feminine energy. And you really need to cultivate that energy around you, because toxic energy can really tear you down, and you don't want to have that, on your journey. You're trying to grow and prosper and change your life and be happy and be stress-free and be safe and be healthy and be vibrant and beautiful and just have the best quality of life that you can have, you can't have that negative energy around you. So cultivate love, give love, and just keep love, all in your space, all in your aura. If something is around you that isn't love, if you can't, get it out of your space right away, because I know sometimes there are things that we can't just walk away, so quickly. You're creative. As a woman, you are creative. Get creative, make a plan to break that and get that out of your life ASAP. Okay, so I hope that this video brought some value to you. It's just some things that have been on my chest for a long time, and I have so much more, but I don't want this video to get too long. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We can keep the conversation going. If you have any other topics that you want to talk about, or suggestions, I am open to it. Please leave it in the comments. If you like this video, please like it and let me know. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so that you are notified of all my uploads as soon as they go up. And also, if you are not following me on Instagram, I will have all that information linked below, so that we can get in touch. I would like to know who you guys are. And as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate your support, especially if you made it this far to the finish line. I really do appreciate your support. And as always, stay classy and constantly leveling up, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.